following story contains adult themes and depictions of violence and trauma. This podcast is not for children. Please be advised.
So this is where you'll be staying from now on. So, what do you think?
I like it. It'll take some time getting used to living alone.
Alright, let's talk business. You'll have to walk up and down the tower 4 times each day. Bring her breakfast, take it down when she's done, and bring her dinner when it's time. Slide the tray through the latch at the end of the door.
That's it?
This unlocks the door to her chambers. You're only to use it during emergencies. You're not to have direct contact under any other circumstance.
What would constitute as an emergency?
Life and death.
Oh.
I need you to listen to me very carefully now. You will not open the door, and you will not enter her chambers. If you do, you are committing treason.
No contact. Gotcha.
The queen is sick. She's contagious. If you go near her, you're going to get sick. If somebody notices that you have symptoms of the rash, your head will be the next thing on the chopping block. Do you understand?
Yes, of course.
I handled breakfast for today. Make sure to bring her dinner tonight.
Yes, thank you.
No problem, Lady Anne.
It's been a lot to take in these past few days. I accepted Celeste's offer mainly under the pretense of pay increase. I suppose I should unpack? I only had a few dresses. Amisha had given me one before she left, and the others I had bought for myself out of necessity. This must be my uniform, then. Compared to my maid attire, this was much more formal. Seeing the gown was almost overwhelming. There's this nauseous feeling I just can't shake, like something is wrong. This is my room. I have my own room in the castle. I'm a lady in waiting for the queen. Isn't this a big deal? A maid is one thing, but this is... What am I even doing? A placement like this isn't temporary. Am I committing to a permanent life here? Would that be such a bad thing? I wonder what the queen is like. She's Zane's mother. Oh my gosh, she's Zane's mother. I hadn't even told Zane about my promotion. I'm assuming he knows. Wouldn't he be involved in a process like this? Especially with her condition. I've never actually met someone with Willow's rash. Amisha told me about her mother, and I've heard other stories, often tragic. It must be awful to deal with such a thing alone. I can see the sun start to lower. I should get ready. The dress was heavier than I expected. I could feel it pulling me down as I made my way to the kitchen. The chef had the food prepared and ready on a silver platter for me. He explained how the tea was medicinal and that I should urge her to drink all of it. I couldn't see the food under the cover, but I could only assume that it was lavish, probably full of roasted meat and the freshest fruits. I didn't like how eerie the tower felt. There were many stairs, each one creaked with every step. It was dark. I couldn't see my feet from under my dress, so every step I took was slow and deliberate. I could only hope that I'd get used to it quickly enough. There wasn't much to see when I finally reached the top. A few windows that looked down over the entire city, a small sofa and a lantern, and finally the oaken double doors. Holes at the top of the door allowed people to hear each other from the other side. The one on the left had a small latch on the bottom that opened up a small enough part of the door that you'd be able to slide a tray through. It was a bit too dungeon-like for my liking. Your Majesty, I have your dinner.
Thank you, dear. Are you the new girl?
Yes, Your Majesty. My name is Rilliane.
Rilliane?
Yes, I'm Rilliane Duvon. It's a pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty.
The pleasure is all mine, dear. Tell me, Duvon, do you happen to have a brother?
Yes, I do. I have a brother named Elliot.
I knew it! Your brother used to be my doctor.
I had almost forgotten that Elliot was a doctor. He must have known the Queen well if he met with her once a week.
I remember clearly. He had red hair and those big blue eyes. He would sit with me every Gaia and try all these medicines. And he was always mumbling to himself.
Really? I've never heard about that before.
It was quite nice to see somebody else. How's he faring these days?
Oh, actually, I wouldn't know. I haven't seen him since I was a girl. I've been wanting to track him down for a while now. It's just difficult.
Oh, how unfortunate. Well, if you do find him, tell him I said hello.
Of course, Your Majesty. I couldn't help but laugh a little. There was something comedic about me seeing my brother for the first time in 16 years and saying, "Oh, by the way, the Queen says hi." Still, she's been confined to this tower for years now. I would have gone mad already if I were her. I pray to the goddess that wherever my brother is, he's curing the rash. I can't help but feel sympathy for the Queen. She hasn't left the tower in years. It was like a story straight out of a fairy tale, yet this one didn't seem so happy. If Elliot would speak to her, then so can I. That's right. I'll be here for her now. Every time I bring the Queen a meal, I sit down beside the door and talk to her. It's been a week. We've grown to have a routine of sorts. I knock and serve her meal, and we'll sit beside the door where we can hear each other best. I feel a bit bad that the Queen is sitting on the ground. She says that it isn't a big deal. She'll tell me stories of when she was a duchess living in the islands of Meili. She talks about how she used to take her shoes off and go dancing in the streets on summer nights when nobody was around to watch her.
There was this greenhouse. Do you garden, dear?
I used to, but it's been a while.
Well, I have a horrible green thumb. I couldn't keep anything alive, even when I moved here and was put in charge of the garden. Oh, goddess, I remember all of the talk. So I'd sneak out of the greenhouse in the middle of the forest. It was like nothing I'd ever seen before. There was this waterfall nearby as well, and you could hear the sound from all around you. I felt just like a princess in that one tale. Oh, what was the name? I never actually found out who tended that garden, though. I always went in the night. Still, I'll never forget the colors. There were these dahlias that had this rich shade of violet to them that it almost seemed artificial. They were my absolute favorite.
Is that why you named your daughter that? Why would I say that? I shouldn't have said that. It's overstepping a fine line that I shouldn't be anywhere near. I don't even know how the Queen has processed her grief.
Yes, that is why. It's ironic, really. Whenever the dahlias were in bloom, she refused to go into the garden.
Did she not like flowers?
No, she was afraid of bugs. Butterflies, actually. They were everywhere in the summer. I was planning on making her face that fear that summer. I was until...
I'm so sorry for your loss, Your Majesty.
Thank you, Rilliane.
The stairs are much easier to climb now. The soreness has finally subsided, and I don't lose my breath as fast as I once did 2 weeks ago. Talking to the Queen is interesting, yet comforting. She has a level of emotional maturity that not many people can reach. At times now she'll tell me that I should take my leave early, a hint that she doesn't want to talk at the moment. That's good, isn't it? She mustn't be as lonely now if she needs time away. Today as she ate, she asked me,
Rilliane, You're acquainted with my son, are you not?
Oh, yes, I am actually. Do you see your son often?
No, he isn't allowed up here.
He isn't allowed in the tower at all? The room I understand, but why could he not stay outside the door?
The king forbade it. He doesn't want a single chance of Zane getting sick. You're one of the only few who's allowed up here.
Oh? I'm sorry you can't see him.
Don't be. It's not your fault. And I have my ways of talking to him. No need to fret.
Would you like me to pass along a message to him?
You could ask him how he met such a sweet girl for me. And what of your family, Rilliane? They run an orchard, correct?
Yes, they do.
What was that village again? I could have sworn Elliot told me. Was it Aerith?
Close. Arundel.
Oh, Arundel. How did your business fare after the fire? I heard it was quite gruesome.
The fire?
Was I confusing village names again? I could have sworn that Penelope told me Arundel burned to the ground.
Arundel burning to the ground. When would that have happened? I surely would have heard of... Oh, that's right. Did I forget? That's so odd. How could I forget about something like that? I suppose I haven't given it any critical thought in a while. I've been so wrapped up in castle affairs and Jacob and Zane and the Queen's sweet motherly demeanor that I haven't given any critical thought to the fact that my own mother is dead. She's been dead this entire time.
Rilliane, dear, are you all right?
She's ashes. Her and father were reduced to ashes. Has there always been this pit in my stomach? Am I crying? There's nothing left in Arundel, nothing of importance. No business, no home, no family.
Annie, we're going out for a couple drinks tonight, if you wanted to come along.
No, thank you. Not tonight.
Are you okay? We've been really worried about you lately. You haven't shown up to eat in days.
I'm fine. Just tired.
Rilliane?
Could you leave me be, please?
All right, then. If you want to talk, I'm here.
Why don't you take the next few days off? I'll take care of the Queen.
Really?
Yeah, I've got it.
Okay, then. Thank you.
Of course. You just rest.
Good night, Rilliane.
My mother used to stroke my head just like that. I'm a horrible daughter. I'm such a fool. There's never been anybody more foolish than I. Who am I to forget? I don't deserve to forget. I'm too weak. I can never get anything done. I can't be independent, and I don't have anyone to depend on. I'm so sorry, Mother, Father. You deserved better. You deserved long, comfortable lives.
Rilliane, I can't understand you when you're crying like that. Take a deep breath and use your words.
I'm covered in water. I'm weeping and shivering. She looks me up and down with concern. All my life I've been told I look exactly like my mother. She has auburn hair like mine. Hers was straighter. Her eyes were large like a doll's, and her skin was pale like porcelain.
Elliot, why didn't you walk home with her?
My brother is sitting at the table. He's leaning back while reading a book. He's around 12 or 13. I don't really remember.
I thought she was with her friends.
Look at me, dear. What happened?
I remember crying to her. Justin pushed me into the pond.
Into the pond? It's okay, sweetie. You're okay. Nothing like that's gonna happen again.
Later on, I'm clean and dry. My mother sat me down at the table with a slice of pie. Apple, of course. The sun went down, and I heard a conversation I wasn't supposed to hear.
The pond, Ethan. Do you not understand how horribly that could have gone? What if she had fallen into the deep side?
Calm down. She didn't.
She could have. This is going too far now. That Justin boy. He barhawk, isn't he? You should say something.
I'm not going to say something.
His son is tormenting your daughter for God's sake. Isn't he older as well? He should know better.
The boy probably likes her.
She's 6. That is not an excuse. We have to do something.
Teach her to fight back. I'll do it.
She's tiny. That's not gonna do anything. You won't even consider telling Barhawk?
Honey, you know that ever since he's become Lord, he's been different. Telling him will only get us on his bad side. Why is this even an argument? We should just make sure she doesn't walk home alone. Elliot should be walking with her anyways.
Then you need to talk to your son about it. He always has his nose in that book these days.
That night, my father tucked me in.
Rilliane, if anyone ever tries to push you or pull you and hurt you in any way, I want you to make a fist, like this, and hit them real hard in the face. Hit it! That's my girl.
From what I recall, I think I did walk with Elliot every day. He wasn't cruel, just disinterested. It wasn't like there was anything of substance we could talk about. Sometimes we'd make detours through the town. One time we stopped in front of this store. I can't remember what. Probably a bookstore. Elliot had a moment where he kept muttering to himself about something.
Don't go anywhere. Stay right here.
I obviously didn't. He went into the store and I wandered off somewhere. I got lost for hours, only making it home after the sun went down. My brother got in so much trouble. The only reason I found my way home that day was because they recognized me as my father's daughter. Oh my goddess, don't I have anything of theirs? Was it all lost? No, I have to have at least one thing. It has to be here. Where is it? What could have happened to it? Where is my nightgown? All right. I threw it away. I thought it was disgusting, so I just tossed it. It was the one thing I had. I ran away from home barefoot in a soot-covered nightgown. A nightgown that once belonged to my mother, and I threw it in the trash as soon as I got an opportunity to change. I'm despicable. I'm so stupid. Why can't I ever think properly? Am I cursed? This can't be a curse. I can't blame my stupidity on anyone. It's my fault I'm like this. It's probably just Cynthia. It doesn't really matter. It's not like she can bring them back for me. Can't she leave me alone for one night? Come in.
Hey, I wanted to check up on you.
Hey there, it's me again, your host, Giselle. The producer, the writer,
the director, a lot of things, a lot of hats. There's some other people helping me, of course. I'm just the one who talks the loudest, and I'm here and I'm talking to you about episode 11 of He Who Forsakes the Crown, which is the episode you're listening to right now. Hope you're enjoying it. Was a sweet one to write. Remember vividly writing some of the chapters on this one. I just want to thank you guys for your patience. I think the past 2 years have been pretty hard on everyone. This year, 2022 specifically, has been the worst year ever for me. I know we're only in April, but it's already there. You know, in hard times, though, we turn to art. I'm here, I'm turning to art. You're here listening, you're turning to art. And that's good. Appreciate your artists, appreciate your art. It's such a beautiful thing. If you want to support us in more ways than one, please follow us on social media. That's Chapter 15 Studios on Instagram and Tumblr, and then CH15 Studios on Twitter because chapter didn't fit. The website, www.chapter15studios.com. 15 is always the number, never the word. It is April, which is special for us because April 7th is actually our anniversary. And this time, we are 2 years old. Chapter 15 Studios, not He Who Forsakes the Crown. But Chapter 15 Studios started its production on He Who Forsakes the Crown around 10 months before its premiere. So now we're turning 2. And that's wild because 2 years ago, we had absolutely nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. It was a Skype call. We mapped out our story on MS Paint. And we made something out of it, apparently, because there's people who listen to it and actors who are volunteering to do it. Which is great. And we really appreciate all the support and love. That's all I have to say for this episode. Gonna let you guys get back to it now. You know you'll hear from me next month. Or you won't. I might be dead by then. Just kidding. I won't. I'll be there. Anyways, I'll see you guys next month.
I really didn't think it would be you at the door.
I was worried about you. Is everything okay?
No.
Should I turn on a light?
I'd really prefer it if you didn't.
All right then. No light. Do
you want to know something funny I realized yesterday?
Yes?
2 weeks ago, it was my father's birthday. I forgot about it. I forgot about it so easily. I went about my day like nothing. Not even one of those, oh, I think I'm forgetting something important feelings. Nothing. We used to go to this one spot in the village every year on his birthday. It was my favorite spot. You could see the entire village from up there and every single star. And we'd pack an entire feast and just stay there all day long. But when he got sick, he couldn't climb anymore.
Rilliane.
I'm just an awful daughter. I couldn't do anything for them. Maybe if I was just stronger, maybe they could have lived. I'm just useless. All I wanted is for them to be alive, and it's impossible. I don't even know what I'm doing. Nobody ever taught me how to be an adult.
You're not useless, Rilliane. Hey, look at me. You're the reason why I'm alive right now. You saved my life.
I can't even remember that last day. I don't even know what they said to me. How could I do that? How could I just forget the feeling?
You forget because of trauma. It's your mind trying to protect you. Trust me, you don't want to remember.
Does it ever get better?
It'll hurt less, but you'll think about it every day.
That's horrible.
Well, you'll remember the nice things as well. Then you'll learn to accept it and move on. Not everybody can do it, but you can.
How do you know?
Because you're the brightest person I know, Rilliane Duvon. And you're constantly moving forward.
That sounds like an exaggeration.
It's not. Truly.
So, why'd you come?
I wanted to check on you.
But why?
I was worried. You haven't left your room in a while, something that I'm all too familiar with. I know that it's going to be rough. It will be for a while. Please, don't shut me out. This was reminiscent of the ball. No, I shouldn't make this about me. That'd be selfish. Yet, my heart aches to see her like this. Incapacitating grief, trauma, becoming a shut-in, behaviors I have seen in myself far too often. She's too delicate to deal with such imposing emotions. It's like I'm almost watching her wither away in front of me. I wish I could take away this kind of pain. Someone with so much light shouldn't have to dim so low. It's strange. It's like we've switched personalities for the day. You know, you still owe me that walk in the garden.
I do?
Mm-hmm. So, how about it? Care to join me on a walk?
I don't want to ruin your day.
Nonsense, you wouldn't be ruining anything. I want to walk with you.
Really?
Yes, really. Is lunchtime all right?
I have to work, don't I?
Lady Penelope informed me that she'll be covering for you for the next couple of days.
Right, I forgot.
You've made Her Majesty worried sick.
She's worried about me?
She considers you to be a good friend of hers.
How do you know?
Pardon?
How do you know that the Queen and I are friends?
Well,
I thought you weren't allowed in the tower?
I'm not.
Then how do you...
I have my ways, mademoiselle. Don't worry too much about it. Not warm enough yet to open windows.
Yeah. Zane?
Yes?
Why are you doing this?
You said it yourself.
Said what?
I'm here for you.
It's strange. I didn't expect a visit from Zane last night, let alone the Prince of DuPoint. He was worried about me. I didn't expect anyone to really come for me. Despite wanting to be alone, it felt nice to have him with me, to be held in his arms. Penelope saw him. Oh, dear goddess, what'll she think of me? I don't think I can take another scandal in a position like this. Where is it? Where is my corset? Where is it? Not a single day can go by without me messing everything up. I ruined it. I ruined everything. If only I stayed compliant to Justin's demands, none of this would have happened. Mother wouldn't be dead. Father wouldn't be dead. I wouldn't be stuck in the void of shadow searching for someone who hasn't cared to come back. How could he? He never cared about anyone else, only himself. Even when we were younger, leaving me behind for some stupid books? What about your family, huh? When did Elliot ever care about his family? When he went to travel the world, I stayed behind. I made sure that our home wouldn't get taken from us. I worked day and night to help our family and tried to get Father the medicine he needed. If he's such a doctor, where was he? Where's that medicine that could have saved Father? I've done nothing but devote myself to taking care of my family. Who is he? Not once has he written a letter, sent a bird, or even left a message. He doesn't care. He never has and never will. If he actually cared about our family, he would have been there. He would have helped carry Father out. My mother, my poor mother. She loved Father so much, she couldn't bear to leave him. She would rather bear blistering embers and raging fires to face death himself instead of running. Father, he hasn't been well enough in years to get up and run, especially in his old age. He knew his life was over the moment the house was set ablaze. Still, I promised them. I will find you. It's strange how life changes when you go up on the social ladder. When I was a maid, no one really respected me. I was at the bottom of the barrel. Now that I'm a lady in waiting, people bow to me in the halls, speaking with smiling faces. Lady Anne this, Lady Anne that. People who've treated me like nothing smile at me, saying the kindest words. Is regal society really this shallow? Is that why Zane was so harsh to me in the beginning? Competition here is so cutthroat. Maids doing anything to get promoted, maybe even a pay raise. Anything to make them look like a shining angel and a good asset, whether it's bribing royals or taking them to their betting chambers. Anyone would play any game to get ahead. Zane has lived through this his entire life. I can't imagine the pressure that sits upon his shoulders. I don't blame him for acting the way that he did in the beginning. I mean, for someone who's new to the castle, it'd be a terrifying experience. To have the heir of the biggest kingdom reprimand you in the harshest way possible, fearing that your position will be compromised. In the end, he was just trying to protect himself. I can't imagine how many times his trust has been broken by this game. Maybe that's why he isolates himself. The more walls he puts up, the less likely anyone will tear them down. Isn't that a sad way to live life? To fear being used over and over again. To shut yourself into a castle fearing the world surrounding you. When I was younger, during the summer months, I have a very fond memory of working at our stand. I remember seeing gold cages, the beam reflecting in my eyes, the loud screeching of blurry small figures. They flew back and forth over and over again, shaking their cages. I remember hearing that they were sparrows, single sparrows stuck in their own cages. I don't know why, but it made me feel sad. Mother asked me if I wanted one, and she bought one. I sat with the bird staring at its cage. It breathed heavily, resting on its perch. He was scared. Alone, without any food or water.
Rilliane,
Yes, Mother?
did you really want the bird?
I'm glad that we've got it, but
But?
he doesn't seem happy.
And why do you think that?
He's alone and scared.
So, what should we do?
Can we set him free?
Isn't it scary, though?
What do you mean?
What if the hunters catch him again? Place him in a cage to be sold once more?
I still believe he'd be happier out here than in this stupid cage.
Why?
Even if there are hunters out there, he should still be free. He shouldn't stay in the cage because of what's out there. As long as he's careful, he should be all right.
Well, let's free him.
You're free now. You can go.
Doesn't something feel strange to you?
Strange.
The air here feels uncomfortable.
The air here is always uncomfortable.
More than usual. Be on guard. I sense someone coming.
I'm sorry I'm late.
Please, don't be. Tea?
Water, please.
Of course. Here you go, mademoiselle.
Thank you.
She looks frail. Tired from the previous days. Bags hugged the bottom of her eyes as she looked down. On the outside, she may have looked put together, but on the inside, I could see the pain hidden behind her glossy eyes. How are you feeling?
I feel angry.
Are you mad at me?
No, I'm not mad at you. It's just...
My apologies. I shouldn't have brought it
No,
up.
no. It's alright, You felt grief before. Maybe you would know.
It depends. Everyone processes grief differently.
Then why do I feel so angry?
What are you angry at?
Elliot. I'm angry at Elliot.
Why are you angry at him? I thought you were looking for him.
I am.
Mademoiselle?
He abandoned us in our time of need. My parents would have survived if he was there to carry them out. Hell, he probably would have cured my father. If he was such a family man, why hasn't he shown up? Where has he been all of these years? Not once has he tried to contact my family, let alone me. He doesn't care about us.
Rilliane.
He doesn't care about me. He never has, and he never will.
Hey, breathe.
What am I going to do? He's not here, and I have no one to go back to.
Don't worry about that right now.
I can't help but worry. If there's no reason for me to be here, why am I here?
Where else can you go?
I don't know.
If there isn't anywhere else you can go, you can always stay here.
Really?
Absolutely. There's people here that love and care about you. Unlike that Neanderthal Justin.
You're right. Wait. How do you know Justin?
Oh, you're fucked.
Shut up. It's a long story. It's not really worth telling.
Oh. I completely understand.
You do?
He's awful to be around.
Behind you.
Run! Could you have chosen a worse time?
We have a message for you.
Oh, well, if you had a message, you could have written to me.
Do you think you're funny?
No, I'm practical.
Where's His Royal Highness?
Outside! He's fighting some strange man.
Oh, Enyo. Lena, stay back. I'll handle it.
Got it. What were you doing with him?
Catalina?
I said, what were you doing with him?
Eating lunch. Is something wrong?
What were you doing eating lunch with him?
He invited me to lunch.
So you went. Don't you ever think?
What?
You put him in danger. He shouldn't be out there fighting. He could die.
I didn't know that we were going to.
Use your brain.
I'm sorry. I didn't think it'd be an issue.
You should leave. It isn't safe here right now.
I couldn't help but think about Zane. If he had moved just a second slower, he'd be dead. I hardly had any time to react when I saw the stranger approach. Everything moved so quickly. I never even saw Zane draw his sword. Oh, Goddess. I hope he's okay.
You are a coward.
A true coward hides in the shadows, trying to take a cheap kill.
That's not cowardice. It's vengeance.
Vengeance? What for? He isn't trying to kill me. He's trying to toy with me.
You're the one who killed my father.
And?
You have no remorse for all the lives that you've taken.
Why should I?
Your people are beginning to fight back, Your Royal Highness.
The sins of my father weigh nothing on my shoulders.
You're the reigning monarch. Someone has to pay the price of the people.
I'm not the monarch. I'm only a viceroy.
How pathetic.
Excuse me?
I said, how pathetic. I'm going to be the one to put you on the chopping block, but not yet. The time isn't now.
If you can kill me.
Don't taunt me. You're just a man. You're not a god. Now listen. I know you're not good at listening, so heed my call.
Go on.
The rebellion is coming. A phoenix will rise up from the ashes and destroy this cursed bloodline once and for all.
It's been received for over a decade.
That tongue of yours will be the first thing cut out.
So be it.
Your Highness!
Captain!
It's time for me to depart, little prince. I hope for Argus Divine to watch over our next meeting.
Oh, he will.
Your Highness, duck! Get back here! All bark, no bite.
What's happening?
A rebellion militia stormed the castle and got through the gates. We were able to take care of most of them, but more are coming.
Where are they coming from?
Most of them stormed in from the east. We're not safe out here. We need to get you to safety.
Where's Rilliane?
Lady Anne should be with Catalina. Are you injured, Your Highness?
No, I'm fine. We need to find her.
She should be fine. As long as she's in the castle, she should be safe. We need to get out of here. Someone is listening.
We need to find her.
We'll find her when we get... Your Highness, look out! Goddess, it's jammed.
Ram through the door!
Got it. We need all men. We must keep the door shut. Your Highness, you're bleeding!
All right. It's just a cut.
We need a doctor! We need attention, quickly!
The door. They need to close it before things become more than a scratch.
Your Highness, I'm going to get Catalina.
Why?
We need to make sure that you aren't poisoned.
Find her and Rilliane.
I'll do what I can.
No. This is an absolute order.
Yes, Your Highness.
He Who Forsakes the Crown is an audio drama written and produced by Chapter 15 Studios. Special thanks to our audio editors, Billy Mizell and Donnie J.M. Starring Julia Orsborn as Rilliane Duvon, Eric Smith as Zane DeMonte, Chara Lynn as Sayoko Kina, Mercutio Glow as Penelope, Bella Cherish as Rosalia DeMonte, Zoe Absher as Cynthia and Catalina, Ranger H. Fox as Argus and Ethan, Cassius Hodges, Maria Fausto as Faye Duvon, and Rin as young Elliot. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. We'll catch you next time on He Who Forsakes the Crown.